Many people like to complain, blaming unfavorable circumstances, but the reality is that in the same bad situation, why do some people succeed while you struggle without getting anywhere? Where is the difference? Is it really the circumstances to blame, or is it a lack of personal capability? This society is actually very fair. Effort does not always yield results, but if you don't try, there will certainly be no outcome. If you must blame something, blame being born into the wrong family, or that your parents weren't capable enough to leave you with a large fortune to spend. That being said, for those who want to change themselves, you need to see things clearly. I also want to share some of my own experiences. I know your life is busy. However, what I have to say is not easy to absorb, especially hard to grasp if you only hear it once. My advice is to watch until the end and listen repeatedly whenever you have free time or while doing household chores. Share and save the playlist for your convenience. I am confident that within just a few short months, your mindset will develop significantly, reaching new heights. Welcome to the Flame of Truth, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't understand these principles, you will surely remain a low-wage worker, forever struggling. Also, if you're working as an employee, why are you only earning 7 to 8 million VND a month? Meanwhile, the assets of that former classmate could be up to 10 billion VND. You might argue that the chance for everyone to become like him is slim. That's true, but it's not uncommon to earn 30 to 40 million VND a month through effort. While you may not become exceptionally wealthy, at least you won't be unable to afford a home or be crammed into shared rental rooms. Many people like to complain, blaming unfavorable circumstances, but the reality is that in the same bad situation, why do some people succeed while you struggle without getting anywhere? Where is the difference? Is it really the circumstances to blame, or is it a lack of personal capability? I know what I'm saying might be something you don't want to hear, but the undeniable truth is, if you had the capability, why are you only earning 7 to 8 million, or 9 to 10 million VND? The truth speaks louder than words. So, if you've watched up to this point and still want to complain, then leave immediately. Complaining will never solve the problem. The workplace is a complex environment. You see others excelling at work, and you think they are comfortable and happy. But behind that glamorous exterior, how many truly know the hardships they've endured? This society is actually very fair. Effort doesn't always bring results, but if you don't try, there will certainly be no outcome. If you must blame something, blame being born into the wrong family, or that your parents weren't capable enough to leave you a large fortune to spend. That being said, however, for those who want to change themselves, you need to see everything clearly. I also want to share some of my personal experiences. As a working professional, I have my own experiences and insights. In 3 years of work, I have received 7 salary increases, while most of those who joined the company at the same time have only received no more than 2. I was promoted from employee to director and became the fastest to advance within the company. I can confidently say that among those watching this content, there are definitely people more skilled than me. But for those who wish to be helped, I hope to share my experiences with you. Someone once asked me, "Is there a shortcut to success?" I replied that the only shortcut is not taking detours. If you can achieve the following 9 things, success is just a matter of time. Number 1. You must clearly know what your future goals are. Many people think work is something glamorous, but that's not the reality. If you don't have a clear plan, you will face many issues: dissatisfaction with your job, lack of motivation to move forward, the job not being what you imagined, and your abilities not being utilized. When you see your former classmates living better lives, you will feel frustrated and want to switch jobs immediately. The job you seek merely for survival may not suit you. These are issues that almost every newcomer to the workplace will face, and they are most evident in the first 1 to 3 years. These issues may become less noticeable over time because you've endured reality for so long and been assimilated by its injustices, so you've grown used to them. The dreams and ambitions you once had have been crushed by reality, and you've transformed from a person with aspirations into an ordinary individual, living merely to survive like many other employees. If you don't address these problems early, you'll waste 3 valuable years. For a new worker, these 3 years are extremely important. It's the golden period for honing skills and accumulating resources. Once wasted, it will take even more time to start over and make up for it. Worse still, some people will never be able to make up for it. This is not an exaggeration. So, if you haven't yet passed the 3-year mark in your career, congratulations, you still have a chance to change your destiny. But once you've passed the 3-year mark, every change will require a significant trade-off. Why is it important to know your goals clearly? Because having goals gives you guidance for your actions. It helps you understand what you want to do, what you enjoy doing, and that is the real motivation for you to move forward. You have to get married, provide for your family, pay off a mortgage, and care for aging parents. As your children grow up, they need schooling. Your elderly parents need care. All of these responsibilities weigh heavily on your shoulders. Without a plan, when problems arise, you will fall into confusion and lose direction. The career development of a person's life is like building a brand. The only difference is that the product is yourself, and your development goals are your brand's objectives. Once you have a goal, you need to figure out how to get there. Every step you take should bring you closer to your goal, not further away. Therefore, whenever making a decision, you must consider whether it's the right one. The only standard to evaluate it is whether that decision will bring you closer to your goal. If not, stop immediately, because you're veering off the path to your goal, and continuing will only make things worse. Number 2. When talking about life goals, it's also closely related to career planning. This is an old topic that many people think they understand well, but in reality, that's not always the case. You may have read some relevant books, but in our country, the biggest problem with these books is that they are highly theoretical, while their practical applicability is very low. Many people, after reading them, remain confused and uncertain about what to do next, sometimes even more puzzled than before. My opinion is that it's best to seek advice from professional organizations. Keep in mind that it's advice, not evaluation. The difference is that advice provides you with actionable solutions, while evaluation merely helps you understand yourself without guiding you on how to move closer to your goals. The evaluators are usually experts, but most domestic experts are academics with little practical experience in the workplace. They often don't fully understand how career progression works. So how can they help guide you in creating a practical plan? I advise you to create a career plan. If you don't address it now, within the next 3 years you may waste time and potentially ruin your entire life. Number 3. Competence is important, but not everything. Here, competence refers not only to professional skills, but also to workplace competence. You will realize that competence is not as crucial as you may think. It's not the only asset you need for career advancement. You'll notice that some people may not be particularly skilled, yet they are your boss simply because they have been with the company for 10 years. This shows that perseverance is a significant asset for advancement. This phenomenon is especially clear in state-owned enterprises and government agencies. Therefore, for those working in state-owned companies or as civil servants, be aware. Sometimes you will find that people who are not very capable but have good relationships with their bosses are often promoted. This indicates that relationships are also an important factor. At my previous company, there were 2 very clear examples. A man with extensive work experience joined the company. He was highly capable but did not get along well with his colleagues. He saw himself as superior and often took it upon himself to advise others, frequently criticizing their work. This caused his direct manager to strongly dislike him. Meanwhile, a woman who joined the company at the same time was not particularly outstanding in terms of competence, but was hardworking, diligent, got along well with her colleagues, and had a good overall perspective. In the end, when the probation period ended, the woman was recognized by the company, while the man was given a notice of termination. In the workplace, you must have a clear understanding of the environment. Don't live in a dream, and don't idealize everything. Don't try to stand out in a peculiar way, and don't be arrogant or conceited. Don't think that competence alone will allow you to succeed everywhere. Professional skills are, of course, very important, but career development is based on the overall qualities of a person. Those with a high level of comprehensive qualities are the ones with potential for career growth. These comprehensive qualities include communication skills, the ability to build relationships, teamwork, management skills, work attitude, professionalism, and many other soft skills. For some people, they may not care about these soft skills, or they may even look down on them. Many people say, if the boss likes sycophants, should I lower myself to learn how to flatter? Unfortunately, my answer is yes. you must learn how to flatter. Otherwise, you will be the one who loses out. However, I must emphasize that I am not telling you to become unethical. There is an old saying, soft on the outside, firm on the inside, meaning that in social interactions, you must learn how to handle relationships tactfully without losing your inner principles. Otherwise, you will become corrupted, especially in today's society, where relationships between people are crucial. You need to cultivate your communication skills carefully. If you have time, you can read the book Thick Face, Black Heart to better understand social realities. But remember, don't lose yourself in the process. Number 4, you need to have the ability to showcase yourself. Many university students often tell me that after graduation, they will definitely find a job with a specific monthly salary and strive to reach a certain position. At that moment, I always patiently listen to their distant plans and then ask a question. What do you have to achieve your goals? What assets do you possess? And then, they often fall silent, not knowing how to answer. I believe that those watching this content also have big ambitions like those students. But after 4 years of university, have you thought about how to achieve those goals? What assets do you have to accomplish that? For many people already working, what do you have to advance in your career? In life, there are many times when you need to confidently and boldly demonstrate your abilities to others. You must know how to showcase yourself, dare to showcase yourself. This is your way of drawing your sword. Because in this era, even good wine fears being hidden in a deep alley, and gold does not always shine on its own. On the contrary, sometimes broken glass sparkles under the blazing light. Today's society lacks nothing but is overflowing with people. In this vast sea of people, if you remain humble and hide yourself, you are making a big mistake. If you realize the need to draw your sword, the next thing you need to think about is, what sword will you draw? What do you have to show others? For those already working, what are your assets? Have you improved your performance? Have you made progress in the past year? How many useful books have you read for your career? How many training courses have you taken to enhance yourself? If not, what do you have to demand a raise from your boss? If all you do is complain, you will surely be eliminated from your job sooner or later. Number 5, be cautious with your first job. This is a particularly meaningful point for recent graduates. Nowadays, society, media experts, and various organizations always encourage the approach of getting a job first, then choosing a career later. This idea isn't new. It's been around for a long time and is constantly mentioned. Upon graduating from university, many people also believe in this approach, thinking something like, whatever, let's find a job first, earn some money to fill the stomach, and figure things out later. But from my personal experience and observation of actual career development in the workplace, I completely disagree with this viewpoint. I believe that those who are currently struggling in their careers largely have issues related to their first job. There's a saying, men fear choosing the wrong career, women fear marrying the wrong man. If your first step is wrong, you will likely make more mistakes along the way, just like the saying, one wrong step in the beginning, and the entire journey goes wrong. Why is the first job so important? There are 3 main reasons. The first is the concept of first impressions are lasting. This means that initial information and impressions have a strong influence, and later, when faced with differing opinions, it becomes harder to accept. For example, in your mind, Nokia is a symbol of mobile phones. If one day Nokia produced computers under their brand, how would you feel? Very uncomfortable, right? That's due to the concept of first impressions are lasting. I once had a colleague who worked at Sharp, and he used a Sharp phone with great features, but he always said he wanted to change it. When I asked him why, he said, carrying a Sharp phone in my pocket feels like lugging around a huge refrigerator. It's very uncomfortable. This is exactly the first impressions are lasting effect. Don't underestimate this phenomenon. It has a significant impact on the human subconscious. Sharp's phones and computers didn't sell well, partly because of this concept. People often think of Sharp as a symbol of home appliances, not IT. For newly graduated students seeking jobs, this mindset also influences their future development. Your first job will impact your future jobs, and when you switch jobs, new employers will base their judgment on your first work experience to determine whether you can handle the new role. The second point is that in the workplace, there is no opportunity to start over. If a company hires employees with several years of experience, they will always require relevant experience. This is crucial because such employees don't need training and can start working immediately, maximizing effectiveness. For the company, if you've worked for several years and want to change industries, you won't be valued. First, you can't bring immediate benefits to the company. Second, training you would be difficult because your mindset has already become fixed. Instead, the company might prefer a fresh graduate, like a blank slate, with stronger potential for development. Therefore, once you have work experience, changing industries becomes extremely difficult, unless you have connections with senior leaders who can give you opportunities. Otherwise, it will be very hard. The third point is that time costs don't allow it. The first 3 years in the workplace are the most crucial for a person's career development. If during this time, you're still focused on riding a donkey to find a horse and switching industries, you will waste the most valuable period of your youth. At that point, your development will lag behind others, and you'll miss many opportunities for advancement. Therefore, be cautious with your first job. Finding a job is like getting married. It's better not to marry than to marry recklessly. If you've just entered the workplace and have been there for less than 3 years, make a career plan as soon as possible. Patching the pin while it's not too late. It's not too late yet. Once you're married and have bought a house, it'll be too late to fix things. Number 6, you must learn to follow the rules of the game. Many people feel that when advancing their careers, they are not only bound by regulations but also face many injustices. For example, if you're late to work, your boss will deduct your salary, but if you work overtime, you never get paid for the extra hours. When you make a great contribution, you don't get rewarded, but if you make a mistake, the boss will point at you and criticize you endlessly. In this world, don't expect fairness. It's just an unrealistic ideal, something that doesn't exist and never will in the real world. The relationship between an employee and a boss is like a game, and like any game, there must be rules. Otherwise, the game cannot continue. But who sets the rules? Of course, it's the boss. All the benefits are skewed in favor of the boss. When you first enter the workplace, you'll definitely find it hard to adapt to this reality. But you must learn to gradually accept these rules. Don't try to change them, because in front of your boss, you don't have much power. The longer the unspoken rules have been established, the harder they are to change. To put it bluntly, you're just an employee earning your daily bread. If you're already getting food, that's good enough. Are you also going to demand that your soup be heated? If you don't want to work, you can leave. The same old saying applies. In today's society, there's a shortage of many things, but people are never in short supply. Remember this well. If you're not the one making the rules, you have only 2 choices, either comply or leave. Number 7. Action is much more important than words. Talking never leads to good results. Upon reading this, people may have 3 reactions. Reaction 1. You feel it makes a lot of sense and will seriously reflect and take positive action. Reaction 2. I already know this without you saying it. This is purely empty talk. Reaction 3. You find the reasoning very clear but doubt how many people can actually achieve it. If you fall into the first category, I sincerely wish you success through your efforts. If you belong to the second, I hope to have the opportunity to listen to your views, as you already understand everything so well. If you fall into the third category, I hope you can take more positive action. Sometimes, the reason the outcome isn't as expected isn't because we don't understand, but because we talk too much and act too little. The ability to act is not only a survival issue for businesses, but also a personal challenge we must overcome to grow. If you want to succeed, you must start taking action right now. As IBM's advertisement says, stop talking, start doing. Opportunities only come to those who are prepared. No matter how much you complain or how unhappy you are, you still have to eat, sleep, and work. Number 8. Whether it's buying a house or getting married, the pressure is yours to bear. Your boss won't worry for you. Instead of wasting time complaining, calm down and diligently hone your basic skills. Prove your abilities through your actions and make others see you in a new light. Don't let pride turn you into a hothead who ruins your future. Of course, your preparation must be comprehensive. Besides professional skills, other supportive abilities are also necessary, such as communication skills, handling human relations, and management skills, among others. What's even more important is, you must plan for your future, clearly understand your goals, and know how much effort it will take to achieve them. Sometimes, you need to recharge yourself. Don't hesitate to spend half a month's salary to invest in your future. What's there to regret? If you don't learn how to invest now, you will never receive anything in return later. Finally, sometimes the reason you're not advancing well isn't because there aren't any opportunities, but because you weren't ready and the opportunities passed by without you seizing them. That's just how society is. No matter how unreasonable or unfair it may seem, growth opportunities will always appear. The question is whether you're ready for them. If you've truly honed skills that command the respect of others, who knows? Tomorrow, someone might invite you to become the CEO of one of the world's top companies. Everything I've shared here comes from my many years of work experience. I hope it will be helpful to everyone. I sincerely hope that those who read this will take action right away. You don't need to do anything grand for society. Just aim for smoother career development, higher salaries, the ability to buy a home, support your family, and repay the kindness of your aging parents. At that point, you will have lived a meaningful life.